Greetings, Lords. It is I, Lord Cumberlord. It's the night before the launch of Eternum Season 1. I'm pretty excited, and I wanted to produce a video for players who are entering the world of Eternum tomorrow for the first time that introduces the UI, some basic concepts of the game, takes you on a quick journey around the UI, pointing out where and what the buttons are and do, sets up your initial production, and shows you how to start exploring and get set up, ready for expansion, ready for growth, and ready to conquer the world of Eternum. Now this video is going to assume that you have already set up your cartridge controller, transferred your season pass to it, or purchased your village pass and settled in the world of Eternum. If you haven't done any of those things and you're looking for a guide, I will post some other videos in the comments of this video, and if there's anything not there that you're looking for, just drop me a comment and I'll try to direct you towards another video that can help you, or I'll create another one so that there's something there for you and others like you later in the season. So with that, we are arriving here at the homepage of Eternum. We've already logged into our cartridge controller. Ignore the web address here. For you it will be eternum.realms.world. This is the test build, and we're going to play Eternum. Here we are. We've just landed for the very first time in a beautiful new realm. The gong of time has sounded, which tells us that another day has passed in Eternum. In the mainnet Eternum, one day equates to 1 hour, and after 1 hour, or 1 day, your stamina is reset and your troops can continue exploring the map. And you're going to hear that gong more often in this video because this is a sped up test build. So here we are in our beautiful realm, just full of opportunity, waiting for us to make our mark on this on-chain world. You can see that we are surrounded by forest biomes here, so we really have the feeling of being nicely hidden. A quick comment to say, I'm trying to talk slowly for non-native English speakers. If I'm speaking too slowly for you, of course, try speeding this video up so everything happens a little bit quicker, and hopefully everything is nice and clear for those of you who are listening to me in a different language. Listening to me and English is not your mother tongue. So let's start on the right hand side of the map and make our way around and introduce some core concepts of Eternum. So on the right hand side here, starting at the bottom, we have the bridge button. If I click it, you will see that I have the option to bridge in or bridge out. Now, Eternum has a number of materials and resources, all of which are ERC20 tokens. So this means that during the season, you can either bridge these in or out of the game. You might want to bridge them out to sell on the open market, or to store them for future seasons. Now, some people in Season 1 will have already played in Season 0, so they do have stockpiles of these resources, and they can bridge them into the game. The game developers, of course, are aware that that would give an extreme advantage to those players if they were able to bridge in huge supplies of these resources, have introduced a tax, a penalty on bridging in resources in the early stages of the game. Now that's a 75% penalty, so if I wanted to bridge in 100,000 wood, I would only receive 25,000 wood. So this greatly reduces the desirability of bridging those resources in the early game. And for people who are completely new, you can of course produce everything within the game None of these resources have to be bridged in, and you can purchase them off the in-game marketplace if you can't produce them yourself on the realms that you are managing. So, for the sake of just going through all of the process here, I am going to bridge in some lords to this realm, because lords being the in-game currency is something I'm going to want to trade on the marketplace for certain things that I might want to purchase to speed up my trajectory, or buy a ton of troops if I want to take on an enemy quicker. So the lords that I have in my cartridge wallet are now available for me to bridge into the game. So I'll go and click on lords. You can see I have 500. I'm going to bring 250 lords into the game. Bridge in, sign this transaction. This is the only transaction that you will have to sign inside the game, because it's actually something that's coming from the outside. Otherwise, everything else, every move that you make within the game, which is of course an on-chain transaction, we've handed over the responsibility of that. We've granted permission to the session keys within Cartridge's controller to sign all those transactions for us. So that's done. I'm now waiting for my lords to arrive through one of the 6 banks in Eternum, and I can go over here and look at this lovely little fella, this donkey, and click on it, which tells me all of the transfers that are making their way to this realm. We can see that I have one, and it is ready to offload, so it's already arrived, which is awesome. Resources do take time to travel. As I said, this version of the game, being a test build, is greatly sped up, so this got here almost instantly, but depending on your distance from the bank would depend on how long it takes for your lords or other resources to arrive at your realm. Something to bear in mind when thinking about the efficiency of transferring resources between realms of your allies, or when settling realms where you might like to do that to speed things up. So you can see I have paid a fee to the bank, and now I'm ready to deposit those resources here. And if I go over to my balance, once that royal decree has been executed, I can close that and look at my balance, and now I have those lovely realms ready to spend in-game here on this tab, which, since we're here, is my balance. You can see that I have the lords that I've just bridged in. I also start with a resource called labour, which I'll explain in a minute. I start with 100 crossbowmen for military, and I start with 3,000 donkeys. Sounds like a lot, but donkeys are the only way to transport materials across the land of Eternum. So you're going to need a lot of donkeys, because every time that you use them, when they arrive, they are sadly sent to the fire and burned. So donkeys are sacred and holy. And you need a lot of them. So with that, we also have food, fish and wheat, 3 million of each, which we need for a variety of reasons. One, to feed our workers, also our troops, and also to produce other resources and to build other buildings, which we can go and take a look at in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and close the balance, and this middle button is production. We actually don't need to look at that too much right now. I can show you quickly. It's going to look at it's going to give me an opportunity to look at all the different realms that I have and what I can produce in each of them. But we're going to go ahead and build some buildings in a minute, so we can take a deeper look at production over from this side. So moving up, at the top here is my cartridge controller name. I can see here I am Fuckboy, which is the OG Fuckboy from the Fuckboys tribe. Praise he. If I click on my name here, I can reveal my cartridge controller address. So if I need to send more lords from another StartNet wallet, I can send them to that address and then I'll be able to bridge them in. Or I can also go to Akubo, for example, connect my cartridge controller and make some swaps that way. Moving along here, we have settings. Settings, pretty self-explanatory. There are different graphics modes. It is possible that sometimes, at some point, your computer might struggle with rendering if you haven't got a reasonably powerful rig. So there are 3 different graphics modes, so that you can set it down to medium or low mode if that is the case, so that you don't experience too much lag and can still play the game efficiently and enjoyably, only with slightly less high resolution. Here we can toggle with the sound and the effects, the beautiful soundtrack produced by Casey Westcott, and yeah, that's the important things there. Next to that, we have the Discord. This is just a button that will take you out of the game to the Loot Realms Discord, where you can meet other community members, find yourself a tribe if you haven't become part of one, communicate and chat with the devs, find out more about the game, take part in all of the fun things that happen off-chain within the world of Eternum, and also report any bugs that you come across. Next we have the Lordpedia. The Lordpedia are the game docs, which Eternum is a very deep and complex game, which can be played at different levels of depth. But if you are interested in really understanding the world of it and how to min-max production, how to get the most out of it, and to be really a competitive player, then this will be a completely invaluable piece of reading material for you to understand exactly how the game works. Again, if you jump into the Discord, we also have an automated Daydreams bot called Surf, who can answer your questions there if you don't want to trawl through the Lordpedia all on your own. Next we have trophies. Now, we have, of the 3 prize pools, one of them is for achievements this season, and this is where you're going to find achievements. So, as you can see, I've already completed an achievement here. I am the Lord, but we all already knew that. And that I have completed because every journey begins with a single step. I have settled my first realm. Now, there are lots and lots and lots of achievements here, and to have a chance at winning those rewards that have been assigned to the achievement prize pool, you should spend some portion of your season making sure that you complete these achievements, such as finding agents, killing agents, exploring a certain amount of hexes, burning a certain amount of donkeys, etc., etc. At the end of the season, you will find yourself on a leaderboard based on your achievement points, and the prize pool for that will be distributed among all the players who have successfully climbed their way up the achievements leaderboard. So yeah, definitely in some of the quieter perhaps moments of the game, make sure that you go and chase those achievements, farm them, and get yourself some tasty Stark and Lord's rewards. Next to that, we have social. And you can see here that I am part of a tribe called the Fok Boys. It's a tribe created by myself and some other lordly lords in the previous season, and it is probably the best tribe that exists out there. Of course, there are some others which you are free to join at will, but I have created this one, which if you want to create a tribe, you can click here, and then this button here will say create a tribe. And if I click on it, once I've joined, then you can see who's part of it. Now again, this is just the test build, so although I seem like a lonely fuckboy at the moment, I can guarantee you that I am not. And here you can also see tribe invites, so you can invite other people to your tribe that way if and when you're ready to start expanding. Next to that, we have home, which is just going to take us to the home page, so we don't need to click on that for now. This, I'm not going to click yet, because I'm going to save that for more excitement, but it's the toggle to take us between the local and the world view. Local being where we build our realm, play with our production chains, etc., etc. And the world view being the larger hex-based world of Eternum, where we explore and where wars take place, where we go on quests, where the battles really happen. So we're going to come back to that. We can see here our total storage capacity. Storage is something that you need to increase throughout the season by building more storehouses on your available hexes. And all of the resources that you produce have a certain weight. And combined, those will make up what your used kilogram weight currently is within your storehouse. So as you can see, I actually have already used 925,000 out of my 1,000,000 kilo storage. So I need to go and use some of those resources to free up some space. So let's make that our next challenge. And to do that, we're going to go ahead and click on this second button here, which is construction, and it's going to pop up and give us these options of different buildings that we can build. Now, first things first, advice to every player is just to start with a fishing and a farm village, because food absolutely essential, and wheat and fish are resources that you're going to need for all kinds of different buildings to feed your workers, as I said. So everyone needs those pumping throughout. When I click on it, you can see the cost of building this farm is going to be 500,000 fish. So when I do that, if you watch my storage up in this top toggle here, once that transaction has been confirmed by royal decree down here, my storage is going to update momentarily, and I will have more space to build and store more resources that I need. It perhaps just seems to be lagging at the moment, which is not a problem. I'm sure if I go out of world and back into local view, it'll update, but we can rest assured that even if there's an issue in the UI, because the game is fully on chain, all of this is being registered there, so the correct logic applies, and no one can take that away from me. So I am now producing fish, producing wheat, and I'm going to go ahead and produce a resource. Now, every realm has different resources that it can produce, or different combination of resources. Do some research into those, go to the Lordpedia, look at them, see what's more valuable, more rare, what ones you might need to produce what other resources or troops, etc. But for now, I'm going to stick to stone, which is just a strong resource, which I know is needed in this early stage of the game a lot. So although I have these nice rare resources, I know I need stone when I'm trying to expand my realm. So I'm going to go ahead and build a stone quarry right there. Now you'll see these resource buildings that were there before have now been grayed out, which if I go over here, it tells me I need more housing, which means I haven't got enough workers to work another resource building. So if I go to economic, I can see, okay, I have a worker's hut, but to build a worker's hut, the cost is 250,000 labor. So with only 300,000 labor available, I'm going to deplete my labor resources so much by building this that I might hold off a little longer until I've produced some more labor, got my production going, so that I can be more efficient and not have any stalling around that. Now the last tab is military. There's archery, stables and barracks, and there's 3 different tiers of troops within those. Again, at the moment I need more housing, I need more storage, etc. in order to be able to build those, so you can come back to that a little bit later, once you've produced more labor, once you've managed to then build more production houses, etc. and start to produce more troops for the oncoming and future wars. Speaking of troops, the next thing to do, I would suggest, is to go and create an attacking army. When you enter the world of Eternum, thankfully you already have a defensive army established, the Inner Keep, with 4,900 crossbowmen. So if anyone sneakily tried to come and attack you, you thankfully already have a defensive army there available, ready to defend. Now you do want to create an attacking army early on, because this is going to allow you to go and explore the world of Eternum. So with that, if I click create and see which I have available, and I have archers, as you can see here. Only 100, but that's fine for now. That's enough to create an army. And in fact, what I'm going to do is create an army of 50, because I can create a number of different armies within and on my realm, but I have to have troops available here within my balance in order to create a new army. So if I created 100, I could just create one army, and then until I've produced more troops or purchased more, I wouldn't be able to create an attacking army. And I want more attacking armies to be able to explore more of the world. So I'll create a smaller army. In fact, let's go ahead and just do with 40 to start. Create those, and then that army will be waiting for us in the world view once that transaction goes through, which it now has. Now, before we go out to the world view, we're going to turn on our stone production. So as you can see here, it's initially just paused. So if I go ahead and click on it, I now scroll down to the bottom, and I have a button here that I can produce. Now there are two methods of production within the game of Eternum. One is standard, and for standard production, to produce stone, the input resources that I need are wood and coal. Now, I don't produce wood or coal. I haven't purchased any wood or coal yet, so I don't have enough resources to produce that way. Now, the purpose of the labor mechanic was to create a simple production mechanism, which is much less efficient than standard production, but means that there are ways to produce resources and also to produce labor, which are less labor intensive for you as an individual, although, as I said, it's much less efficient. So for the time being in the early stage, because I do have labor, I can use that to produce some stone. So I have 300,000 labor. I'm going to go ahead and produce, let's try 50,000 labor is going to get me 144,231 stone. Again, that's 50,000 labor cost to produce 140,000 odd stone. You can see here, I also need to use some wheat for that, and the time required is going to be 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 7 seconds. So we're going to start producing our stone. Perfect. And then leaving there, and now indeed we can see the storage has updated. There was just a small delay in the UI update there. If I go to balance, I go down here to common, I can see that, look, I am now producing 108,000 stone per hour. I've produced already 840 stone, and in 1 hour and 19 minutes I will have produced the entire amount that I was going to get. Again, I believe we said for 50,000 labor we were going to produce 144,000 stone. Now, the cycle that comes in now is that obviously I want to be able to increase my amount of labor also. So the other side of this mechanic is that if I click on my castle here, this is where I can produce labor. Now, labor production is created by burning any resource. Now, the only resource I have right now is stone. You saw before I had already produced 800, so let's go ahead and say stone. I want to produce 500, and you can see the amount of labor generated from burning is equal 1-to-1 to the resource. So for 500 stone, I get 500 labor. So we used 50,000 labor to create 144,000 stone, which I can then burn to get 144,000 labor. And this is where the cycle of production begins. And it's your job to master that and make that as efficient as possible, and make sure that you don't run out of things, and that you can expand your empire by creating enough labor to build the buildings that you want, to get more workers, to establish yourself and progress in the game. So I'll go ahead and start the labor production on that small amount, just so that we see that also go through. Yeah, and that is the basics, very, very basics, on the production of resources and, of labor. So the next thing here to mention, there's a couple more buttons, as I said. The details at the top overview gives you just the information around your initial realm. So for now we have a settlement, and to upgrade to a glorious city, we need these number of resources, which will then, as I said, allow us to upgrade. Now, upgrading will open up the next layer of hexes around here, so that we can build more buildings, produce more resources, more storehouses, more workers' huts, more troop facilities, and there are, I think, 4 different levels to upgrade, up to a city, to a realm, to a kingdom. Certainly the last is empire. So 4 or 5 different stages there, and each one is more costly in terms of what you need to be able to have and to hold in order to upgrade it. So I know I need to create 100k worth of labor. I need all of these resources, and either I do or don't have the means to produce all of these, so maybe I need to purchase some off the market, or to make a trade with a tribe member, a friendly ally, or simply to purchase it from the marketplace. Speaking of, let's go ahead and take a look now at the marketplace. We've looked at military, we've created our army, we've looked at construction, we know about resource arrivals, and before we click this last button, let's try trade, which opens up our wonderful marketplace. So here on the left we have all of the resources and materials in Eternum, and this is a fully functioning in-game marketplace. Now we know that I am producing stone. We can see my balance is 8,350 there. Now one of the ways for me to make money in this game is to be a stone producer and sell it on the market. So I may at this point decide, okay, I've got 8.5, nearly 9,000 stone. I'd like to sell 1,000 stone for 0.1 lord per stone. Obviously this is an open market. I have to determine a good selling price based on the current market, but I can go ahead and confirm and list my stone on the open market, and somebody else can then come along who's looking for stone, and they will see this and can go, okay, I see Fuckboy is selling 1,000 stone for 100 lords. Sounds like a good price, I'm going to go for it. And they can purchase my stone. Bob's your uncle. I will send that stone over to them, and they will send me my lords, and I'll be flossing. The other way to go about it, if I say, for example, I know that, right, I'd want to do that upgrade soon. I want to get wood. I need 150,000 wood. And I'm willing to pay 10 lords for that. So here I'm going to put up a buy order for 150,000 wood for 10 lords, and if somebody accepts that that is a good price for it, they're going to come along, boom, hit that, and fill my order. Great. We see how the marketplace works. Now there's a couple of other options up here. One being our AMM, where you can provide liquidity and also get hold of resources quickly. One which is a general trading history. Transfer, which can be very important if you want to move resources between your own realms and villages, which you might need to do to increase the amount of storage that you have, or to support an ally who doesn't have lords and you just want to provide them with some support in the early phases, or anything at all. You have the possibility here to click on your realms, others' realms, and send resources between you. Realm production, just going to again look at what you're currently producing on your different realms, so not so important, but that is a basic introduction to the order book, the AMM, and how to transfer within the game. Now remember, there is a donkey cost based on weight to all of these, so consider that before sending hundreds and hundreds of thousands of resources, and also on the cost that you're putting on your sell orders, that covering the cost of your transport of your donkeys, which you will need to replenish in order to keep selling those on the market or trading and selling them. Of course, you can also produce donkeys with a market, which again, donkeys are the lifeblood of Eternum, so you will want to certainly be producing donkeys, if not buying and getting them sent to you by your allies on the market. Last button here before we move to the world view is this one, which is world structures. Now the world structures are hyperstructures, which I won't go into in detail because it is for the mid and late game phases, but essentially in order to win the game, players need to accumulate victory points, and victory points are accumulated by discovering, completing hyperstructures, which then give out victory points to those players who do so. So, without further ado, we'll go into the world view by clicking this toggle here. And here we are in the world view. Another gong of time, which is great because it means we get some more stamina and can explore the map more. Down in the right here, we have the mini-map, which this being a test build has not been settled by that many realm lords or village lords. This is all just devs and close community members who are helping explore the world and find bugs and all that good stuff. So the map tomorrow will look a lot more filled than that one. But yes, this is our lovely realm. Here we can see the archer, who is our attacking army, which we filled earlier, and we've got the composition of 40 crossbowmen. We're going to take him for an explore, but before we do, if we zoom out a little, we can see all of the other realms that have been settled around us and the other action on the map. Now if we hover over them, I can see, oh, that's another one of my realms. Here, that's another one of my realms. And then to the right, we have the realm of Adventurer, who's an enemy, and the enemy will be updated to ally if he's a member of my tribe in the future. I can there see the size of his defense of his realm, so I could decide whether or not I wanted to go and attack him, and I could also see his armies. Like for example here, Adventurer has a attacking horseman army who I could attack or meet for a battle in open land, rather than attacking to raid or to capture another realm. Over here you can see there's been a lot more action. We can indeed see the infamous Daydream's agents, who have been discovered. Here are horsemen with an army composition of 11,000 tier 1 knights, so he's kind of a badass. And I certainly, with my 40 crossbowmen, wouldn't have a chance of defeating him. So I'm going to give a bit of distance to this guy. But we can also see that he has 27 lords. So if I was in the mood and if I did have a larger army, I might feel like going and attacking him and taking those lords home for my bounty. So going back anyway to my realm and zooming back in again. Oh, look at all those trees. I can hardly see my archer. I'm going to go ahead now and click on my archer, which is going to show me which tiles I can currently explore on. And now I am going to, I want to go over here. So I am traveling. And once that transaction is complete, I move over to that next hex. And again, if I click on it, I can see which are the available hexes for me to click on. Now, I currently don't have the stamina to explore an unexplored tile, but once that gong goes again, I will have that opportunity, and I can go and explore all of this undiscovered land. And what might I find? Well, ancient fragments. I might find those hyperstructures that we need in order to start thinking about victory points and the mid game. I might also come across bandits, daydreams agents, or quest tiles where I could go for a quest inside another fully on-chain game to win rewards and other resources. Yeah. So up here on the left, I can also toggle through my different realms, and you can see here I have another army, I have another realm. If I go to the local, you can see what I was building earlier. So here I have copper. Let's see how my balance is doing. I've managed to produce 100,000 copper, which is great. So I can now go and produce more labor like we saw before, and keep my production chain going. So those are more or less the most basic functions and mechanics of the game, and how to get yourself set up quickly, efficiently, and to know roughly what you're doing in the very first stages of the game. There's so much more to Eternum that Lordpedia is going to come in really handy, as well as jumping into our Discord where you can come and ask other players about the game. Mechanics, ask Surf, our AI agent, and also just get into the fun, as I said earlier, of the off-chain and social dynamics of the game. There is, of course, also a game chat here, so we can also say GM for now and have conversations within there. Pornhub has entered the chat, and we can also see the online lords here, who I can send direct messages with. Indeed, I can also send them with to Daydream's agents. So if I want to negotiate or try and convince them to come and pillage a village with me or destroy one of my enemies, I'm going to do that all here within the in-game chat. Yeah, last thing to mention before I drop off and come up with another video in the not too distant future to talk about some of the other dynamics is all of these different biomes which make the world so beautiful. You can see we have more rainforesty here, natural forest, snow, etc. Each one makes it either more or less difficult for a troop type to fight on that specific type of biome. So what I mean by that is archers may have a buff fighting against a paladin army in a forest. So make sure that you check out whilst in the game which biomes your troop types will be more successful in, because that will impact your chances of success in your battles in the open ground. Yeah, there we go. I think that I've done an okay job of explaining that and hopefully given you enough information to feel comfortable with the first hour's play in Eternum. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for listening. I am Lord Cumberlord. Crown Prince of the Fuckboys tribe, please feel free to reach out to me or to anyone else in the Loot Realms Discord or on Twitter, X. We are a friendly bunch there, although not so friendly on the battlefield, as you would expect. But yeah, thank you very much again. Really excited for tomorrow for the launch of Season 1. Hope to see you on the battlefield. And yeah, good luck. Have fun.